good. How could you? How could you? You've already betrayed me. For the first and last time. I don't know what I'm fucking making my going live announcement, but this is definitely this is definitely a way to do it. I don't know how to entice people to watch me make art and talk about
The
art.
live message is, please, I beg you.
Yes, I should do more of that, honestly, but I mean, even then, if that doesn't work the first time, how many times can you do it before, you know, it just loses all meaning altogether? That's the big thing, right?
Yeah, my going live message is usually the game that I'm playing.
Yeah.
That's
Fucking,
it. Like,
Buggle. Everyone come hang out. I'm streaming Buggle. That's not the game Game Grumps played a decade ago, but on fucking what is it? Game Grumps? Is it Peggle? It might be Peggle.
it might be pickle, yeah.
No, it's not.
Buggle.
Is it? But Peggle didn't come up. It's Gubble. Holy shit, dude!
We're both wrong.
We're
Yeah.
playing Gubble. Fucking Gubble. A classic. You know, some like, you know, YouTube videos, it doesn't faze me when they're like double digits old or however many years old. Game Grumps is not one of those. Game Grumps does faze me when the episodes are notably up in years, because fucking I'd prefer that not be the case. I prefer all Game Grumps episodes to not age in any way, to essentially stay as though they were premiered yesterday. I think that would be best for everyone, myself included.
Yeah, you know what? Don't change. Don't get cancelable. I don't need new information. It is fine as it is.
I want them to be in that kind of superposition where they both have always been there and just came out. Both at the same time, please. Thank you. Alphonse, let me ask you something. You live in an area with a lot of cats, correct?
Not really. Like the
thought you
town
did.
that I live in right
Yeah.
now has a lot of street cats, but I think it's just because they are not like controlling them. Like,
But that okay.
just-
Alphonse, that counts. So there are just cats wandering the street regularly.
yes and no, and what I mean by it is I don't want you to get the image that I live in the Japanese cat island.
That would
Like,
be great. But go on.
yeah, it's not that. We have like a rotation of like 3 or 4 street cats that we see every now and then,
Gotcha.
not all the time.
Are they professional street cats or are they amateur street cats?
They are mercenaries. They get paid by by
Oh.
the job.
That's very good. Anyway, I was gonna ask if you've ever considered putting one in a box with a decaying radioactive isotope, and then just kind of
No, I haven't been thinking about doing the old
the good old
the old Schrödinger experiment.
the,
Yeah.
the good old Schrodinger's. The good old Also, did you? I don't think it was on stream when you mentioned it's like just past midnight where you are. Did you like just wake up, or have you been awake and it is
I
now
have
midnight?
been awake since 8 in the morning,
You should like
and
probably
I went to sleep at 5 a.m.
You should like probably sleep because fucking...
No, I sleep 3 hours. I still
No,
have
that's not. You need
like 5 more hours.
I would like to.
I'm fine.
I'd love to. I'd love more Alphonse in my life, but I'd also love for Alphonse to sleep. So it's like, you know.
Yeah,
fucking-
but Alphonse is busy doing things.
No. I don't know how you're able to do anything like of quality, and this is not me saying you don't do things of quality, quite the opposite, but fucking, I don't know how, if it's like 11 o'clock here, I'm just like, nothing I make right now will be worth anyone looking at, so I better go to sleep, and then when I wake up in the morning, I can make something decent again. So, I don't know how you're operating in otherwise, but...
See, there was a study recently.
Yeah.
I might need to find it because a friend sent it to me and was like, "This is you. This is 100% you." There was a study recently about gene found in some people that need less sleep. That less sleep works better for them than more sleep. And I have been saying my whole life that if I sleep more than 3 hours, I wake up more tired than I went to sleep. But if I sleep 3 hours, I'm fine. Between 3 and 4, I'm fine. Anything more than that or less than that, I'm fucked.
I mean, I think that has to do with, like, REM cycles, because sleep is, like, cycles and stuff like that, like, your
Sleep
brain...
is a fucking scam. Cycles are a joke.
I don't know. No, we're not gonna do that. Just because you like not getting sleep doesn't mean...
Cahill, it's not that I like it, it's that I have been tested my whole life for sleep problems.
No, fucking...
Cycles don't exist.
I don't fucking... You... You're like... I don't fucking... It's in... It's hard for me... I don't think we've ever gotten... I've just known that, like, you know, you live in Europe, which I'm so sorry about that, but you live in Europe, so, like, you know, anytime, like, me or anyone on this side of the pond is awake, naturally it's later over there. Fucking... I didn't know you just, like, straight up were just like, no, any sleep whatsoever is awful. And, like, to some degree, I can understand that you're like, I've ironically become tired of all this sleep talk, but also fucking, like, you can't sit here, you can't get up on your soapbox here and be like, sleep is just, it's a lie made by the government, like, fucking...
Not sleep is a lie. The concept of sleep cycles, it's a social construct. It's not a truth. It's not real. Most of society, and again, social construct, most of society share a sleep pattern, but not everyone does, and everyone that doesn't have it gets fucked.
I mean, that I can relate to, just in that society is not very accommodating to different people, but also, I will say, like, this is my point, though, is you're like, that's a lie, and I'm like, what's your evidence? And you're like, well, it works for most people, but it doesn't work for me specifically, so...
But it's not me specifically. There is a study of more people like me that have the same type of disorder.
And I believe that, but it's just, like... I just don't want to encourage bad sleep habits. Go on.
Yeah, what is I forgot the name of the, I don't think insomnia describes what I have, because I do sleep, like I sleep less than normal people, yes, but I do sleep. Does my sleep schedule change constantly, like I'm constantly in a jet lag state? Also, yes, sometimes I will be on... Sometimes I'm on my sleeping pattern between a lot of quotation marks. Sometimes will be on the Australian time zone, and sometimes will be Central Europe, and sometimes will be the American time zone. Like, sometimes I will sleep 2 times in a day, and some other times I won't sleep for 3 days. That's how my sleep pattern between quotation marks works.
Listen, I hear you, I feel you, but, like, again, I can't help but point out that you're like, no, all that's a social construct. And you're like, listen, do I go days without sleeping? Yes. Do I fall into small comas at times? Also, yes. Do I sometimes wake up in different locations and I fall asleep? Of course I do. But that's fine.
Did you know about that one?
I know. And, like, again, I get, like, I'm exaggerating. It's clear that you just, your brain does not operate on the same type of sleep many other people's do, but still, it's I, I, I just want to be. I feel like to some degree you're like, no, all that's you came out with like, no, all that's made up. That's not true. And then it's just like, Alphonse, I think you're
Because it's
just.
made up. The way people talk about REM cycles and sleep cycles is made up.
I
Like
know,
someone
but
someone made it up, and the scientific community just accepted it as truth.
I mean, fuck it. I, I would like to engage in this conversation with you to some degree because it's not like I'm an expert on this, but also you then immediately follow that up by just talking about how you have incredibly bad sleeping habits. So I'm just like, I don't know if I can take your
Again,
word on that one.
bad sleeping habits by society's standard.
I mean,
It works for me. I'm perfectly fine.
well, okay, that I believe, but also, well, again, I get what you're saying and I relate to it because, again, like I said, fucking, like, the world isn't built for people who just, like, don't don't follow certain trends. But it's also, I would argue you could define good sleep habit as I am consistently getting this much sleep at the same time every day, which is again not what you describe. Like, because I would argue the societal version of that is like sleeping from like, I don't know, 10 to like 6 or 8 or what have you, but you're like, no, I get 3 hours of sleep at random intervals throughout the week, and that's fine, and it's okay. And I'm like, I mean, I believe you're okay with that. I believe it works for you, but
No, I'm not okay with it. I have come to terms with it. Like I have learned to
that's
accept
not
it.
better
It doesn't impress.
either. Again, and I want to be so clear because the like again, I to some degree I relate, but also this isn't me like judging you. It's just I just have to point out the comedy in the fact that you're just like, yeah, I don't listen to those sleep studies, and then then you describe what I can only say is like a wild sleep schedule. Not bad because like you said, it works for you, but still wild. It can still be wild and not bad. It can be definitively like all over the place and still working for
I
you. Go
I'm
on.
going to tell you what I was told by the sleep doctor, whatever the name
If
of
you're
that the
okay,
specialty is.
go okay, yeah, go. Nothing I can make up as
Cahill.
a joke. No, yeah, nothing I can make up as a joke is going to beat this. So go on,
Cahill.
please.
I
Yes.
was four. I
Uh,
was four. I
yeah.
didn't know the name of that specialty, and I
No, no, no,
didn't bother
no,
to
no,
learn
no,
it.
no, no, no. Not. I wasn't pointing out like you not knowing the name. I don't know the name of it either. I was saying I'm on pins and needles with what the doctor had to say because I was
The,
like I can't
they
fucking
were
imagine.
studying me. They were studying me for a month. I was going to the hospital for a whole fucking month.
Well,
To one point, they had me awake trying to tire me out. Like they had me awake as long as I could hold it, and I was awake for 3 fucking days. And then I fell asleep and I slept normal, which they were baffled about because I should have been like deep in sleep, like tired kid sleep, not sleeping normal after 3 days of not sleeping. And I woke up after 3 hours, fresh as a fucking lettuce. And the doctor just looked at us and was like, yeah, his sleep pattern doesn't work, and he will have to be on meds his entire life. But he's too young to start now, so just get used to it. And I have been doing that my entire life, getting used to it.
I just like like I wanted to think of like an animal that doesn't need a lot of sleep. I can't think of one. The only thing I can think of is just Batman, which is that you are Batman. But like
There must be an animal that doesn't need sleep.
oh yeah, there definitely is. I just can't off the top of my head think of one. Like the first thing I want to say is owl, but that's not like it's not that they don't sleep. They're just nocturnal. Like I feel like anything I try to think of is just like no, it's just awake at night and sleeps during the day, which is like again that's a sleep schedule. I'm fucking like the only thing I can think of then is Batman, and what I'm saying is like this is the point I'm trying to make. I believe I can believe you, my friends Alphonse, are fine and that your sleep schedule works for you. 100% for sure, absolutely. But also, I have to point out the bit of like wackiness that you're just like, no, you don't have to listen to the sleep scientist when you would have what I would can only call as like an outlier of a sleep
Oh
pattern.
yeah, no,
So
I'm 100% Spider Scourging here.
yeah, so it's like
Like,
uh, uh, I cannot guarantee that we can replicate your results with other people, especially if they don't just kind of naturally do that. So, so I'm just like, no, maybe
I would be interested
go
to
on.
see like someone. This is
Don't,
me
don't.
sounding like a psychopath.
I know,
I would
don't say. I know
be
what you're going
interested
to
to
say.
see.
Go
Yeah, I
on.
would be interested to see someone trying to artificially replicate my kind of sleep, like trying to stay awake as much as I stay awake.
I thought you were going to talk about like trying to do what you did as a child, which is staying awake for 3 days straight and then just kind of normal
But
sleeping.
I didn't choose to stay
I
awake for
know,
three
I
days.
know
My
you
body
did.
didn't need sleep.
I know you didn't. Fucking, but like,
Also, apparently, I was looking it up. Apparently, giraffes sleep between 30 minutes and 4 hours each day. Elephants sleep like 2 hours per day.
you gotta be on the lookout for
And dolphins and sharks turn a part of their brain
this.
off,
Is
but
yeah.
the rest is still like awake somehow to keep moving while they sleep, which sounds dangerous.
That's also like a D&D elf thing. Is that like fucking, which is a nerdy ass sentence to say, but like D&D elves like don't really sleep as much as they just kind of sit there all night, just kind of zoning out,
There,
and then yeah.
yeah, there was a bird that did that too. The to keep flight because they use more energy taking off than just like gliding and flying.
Ah, the
So they would,
ostrich.
yeah, the ostrich
The ostrich
and
does
the
that.
emus.
It, ta-
They
it
also do that.
they take a lot of energy. You'll never see one of those puppies flying if it's not already in the air, because
Um,
they take forever to take off.
yeah, I think it was the swallows or some other like small bird that they turn off half their brain. Like they have like Emmy cycles, I think they are called. Their brain is cut in half, and they actively turn off half their brain
Hmm.
to it's like blinking but only with one eye. Like they turn off one eye and half their brain, and they keep gliding,
Yeah.
and that half is getting rest, and the other one is not.
That being said, like the elephant and giraffes definitely are closer to the analogy I needed, but like
Mammals.
the well, no, because like I would argue you're still a human. No matter what you say, Alphonse, you still bleed. You are still man.
Trust me, I'm painfully human. I wish I wasn't.
But fucking, like, so it's not like you are just fully awake if you're not sleeping, but like those animals are like fully like almost like sharks and dolphins and the birds. They're like, I don't want to say they're lobotomizing themselves, but they're like actively just like turning off parts of their brain to be like, yeah, that's fine. I don't need that right now. And I don't think you're
I,
doing that. So
I just imagine a dolphin with a hammer and a nail being like,
this will
well,
be
time to sleep.
fine. Yeah, this is how we all go to sleep. He's like, no, 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 no. So yeah. Yeah, no, you're not doing that. I know for a
Oh,
fact you're
that's a
not doing.
really dark image.
If you did that, the doctors as a child would have far more to say. Like, they'd literally be seeing like like because like when you're scanning a brain, it's like all lights and stuff like that to show where everything's happening. I'm sure if they were doing that and parts of your brain was just like pitch, like half of your brain was pitch black, they'd be like, hey, so we're like deeply worried about your son here. Like he might be a lot. I can't even really say that for sure. So we're gonna have to do some other stuff too. So it's gonna be a while.
You know the meme. You know the meme where someone is dating a new person and they enter the room for the first time and they see it full of trash, and they go like, "Bitch, you live like this."
Yes.
The doctor see in my brain.
Bitch, you live like this. I wouldn't even. You gave that way more context than I feel like the original. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's from like a weird fan web comic or something. Because I'm pretty sure the original comic is just like fucking Max from not Scooby Doo. That he's not from Scooby Doo. Max from Goofy from Disney, just walking into like a room and being like, "Bitch, you live like this," in reference
Wait,
to.
that was from fucking Goofy and Son?
That it's like. I mean, okay. Well, we're doing the thing. You know the thing where it's like. You gotta look up the wiki page now. Bitch, you live.
Cahill keep working. I can
No,
look it up.
no, 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 I'm already doing it. Don't make me waste my time. Damn, bitch, you live like this. Refers to an exploitable comic featuring Max and Roxanne from the Goofy movie as drawn by an Instagram user. Oh. See, this is okay. So the original drawing was just of like them, kind of in just in different clothes, and the original thing he was saying was like, "Wow, Queen, you're so beautiful," but then someone photoshopped it into like a trail. I'm pretty sure that's literally Muscle Man's trailer from fucking from regular show, and now instead of him saying "You're so beautiful," it's just "Damn bitch, you live like this." So. Like I said, you were. I get where you're coming from with like that's because it definitely tells a story 100%. But I was also like I've never seen that much context behind that specific meme before. So
That is 100% Muscle Man's trailer.
it is like the same
show.
art style. I haven't seen a lot of regular show, but it is. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that's Muscle Man's trailer. So. You know who else lives like this? A large portion of the American populace live below the poverty line, so... Yeah. Listen, Muscle Man is intelligent. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Oh, he really is. Like, I love when someone actually, like, was it Rigby that at some point he went, like, he exploded and he was like, and it's not my mom. The joke is your mom.
Yeah, well...
And he was like, I know.
That was like season 1,
time.
yes. Well, I don't think he even was like, oh, I know it's that's the punchline, I just don't do it. I think he just did a somewhat fake freak out on them. And then was like, haha, gotcha. Anyway, bye. That was like, just almost threatened their lives, and then went, no, never mind. It's chill, whatever. And then, that was it, because Muscle Man's a chill guy, all things considered. So, truly, he's a good friend. Who wouldn't want a friend like Muscle Man? I was gonna say, because I remember seeing stuff from like the finale where they kind of show you what everyone does after the show. They do like a little epilogue in the last episode. I forget what Muscle Man does, because like Mordecai basically just like becomes an artist and meets someone, and Rigby becomes like a stay-at-home dad. But I don't know what Muscle Man does. I'm sure he found something. You know who else found something? We can't keep doing this. We can't do this forever. Oh Lord. Yeah, it was a long day at work today. I have no desire to go back. I just want to start the new job I got.
You mean the 25 years later comic that they made?
No, I think that's after that. Like literally in the last episode of the animated show, like they do like a little thing where like the very last scene is like doing a montage of showing what everyone was doing after the finale, basically. So. I do remember them, and they didn't get like the full fucking Adventure Time treatment, because at this point I don't want to say they're milking Adventure Time, because like for what I know, Fiona and Cake is like good among with the other miniseries, but also that can be true, and they can still be milking Adventure Time. So.
Oh, they are milking that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I love
I do like that they seem to be like actually taking it seriously. The Fiona and Cake show, like
yeah
they are getting deeper into some of the themes of the. I
of
still
the
haven't
show.
seen it because it's not super accessible in Spain.
Yeah, because everyone loves streaming. Streaming is makes everything so good and easy, and no one has any problems with it. And they never like
Yeah,
destroy media.
and regional locks don't
and
exist, and I
then
can see
and you
everything
can
that
get it
everyone is like,
everywhere.
oh, this is on Netflix, this is on HBO, and it's like, yeah, not on Spain, bitch.
Nah. So, what was I thinking of? My brain. My brain. Nope, it's gone. I lost it. I lost it. Oh, right. I don't know if I'll ever see this and think I'm the worst, but fucking Joe DiMaggio, uh, you know, like Jake and notably Bender from Futurama. And I haven't seen a lot of Futurama, but go with me here. I love how I think a lot of people have seen them talking about how when he was playing Jake, he was just like, what the hell is this script? Fucking nonsense words. What are you having me say? And then his co-stars were like, Joe, you can cry into your pile of money later. You're getting paid very well. And he was just like, okay, but fucking, I love seeing him say that about Adventure Time, and then see at basically any scene from Futurama. I forget if I've said this on stream before, but Futurama is more adult oriented, but I'd argue it seems closely nonsensical. They do a lot of wacky bits in the future. So I mean, Adventure Time makes up words, but I'd love to know Mr. DiMaggio's fucking what his line is, basically, where he's just like, oh yeah, this is a reasonable thing for me, a voice actor, to say in this context, versus this is wacky nonsense and I won't be a part of it. I don't know.
I
That's
don't
just
know, because Jake has a lot of absurdly random shit that
I
he
wouldn't even
says.
I mean, I would say that I haven't seen an episode of Adventure Time in the early Adventure Time at least, but I feel like a lot of time Jake is. I feel like Finn is more so the one that says just random ass phrases, because he's a high energy kid who's going on adventures. So it's mathematical, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
Jake is always just kind of like, hey Finn, chill out. Jake doesn't have a lot of energy to be. I can relate to him in that. Me and Jake.
I
No,
mean, he's an old dog.
yeah, that is true. He's
He has the energy of an old dog.
he's like 30 or 40 in dog years. He doesn't know, but he's one of those. So, and then in the follow-up series, he is dead because dog. So, where I I probably wouldn't make. I've been doing a lot of thinking a lot about writing stuff, because I was doing card game stuff, and I'm gonna just put a pin in that idea because I think it's good, but I was like, I want to write more Alex stuff again. Weird alien guy. I've been doing a lot of writing, figuring out how to make some stories for him again. But fucking, I I'd almost be interested to make a story with reincarnation as a thing that happens in the narrative, because that's always so weird whenever it's in any show I've watched, like Adventure Time or Avatar. In some ways they almost end up treating it as yeah, you're the same person, quote unquote, but also you're just different people, actually. And you were reincarnated as this, but also you're still an individual, not this, actually. And I'm like, what the, how explain the system to me, explain your afterlife to me. Adventure Time. Adventure Time and Avatar, I beg of you. So
Yeah, Adventure Time with doubles duplicates alternate reality
Well, that's just
versions
yeah,
of
that's
this,
just.
and yeah.
I wouldn't even say that because like there's like this whole episode where Finn goes like discovers a past life of his that he had and has to like do unfinished business because of that, and then also like
Yeah, the fucking oh my god,
the
the
creepy
reincarnation
lady,
thing
yeah.
with the creepy lady and the ghost. Yeah,
And then one of the
I
follow-up
forgot all
series,
that.
when he's actually like in the afterlife, he's able to like transform into her. And I'm like, how does that work? Is he like her? Is he like actually? Is he her mentally? Like
Avatar state.
at all time? No, like is it just like since he's been dead? Is like she in her in his head, and like he's just kind of like wearing Finn at the moment, or is it just like he can just appear as her and she's somewhere? What is? I need solid answers. I mean
I
solid.
don't think they ever get into it because
No,
again
of
I
course they
stopped
don't.
watching when they got to after defeating I think the Lich on the multiverse thingy and they started doing the Burning Isles arc I think it was and the one with the other quote unquote humans.
Yeah, but I'm talking. I'm not even talking about stuff in the main series. Like they do a whole one of the epilogue miniseries is literally takes place in the afterlife, and that's some of the stuff I'm talking
Yeah.
about right now. So that's why I'm like, I
No,
mean,
but that's what I was gonna say. That I don't know if they address it because I stopped watching around that time.
oh, gotcha, yeah,
That I don't know if they address how reincarnation works, but it kind of sounds like the way it works is that when someone reincarnates, the new person is a new spirit, but the old spirit lives inside the new one.
kind of like a
So they
nesting
are,
doll situation. I think they might have used
yeah,
that.
like a Russian doll kind of thing.
I think they actually used that at some point. That might be it. Yeah, I'm just saying. I it, I probably would never. I probably have no plans at any point to make a story that deeply goes into reincarnation. Largely because I don't even have any successful stories by themselves currently. But fucking, it's like it's something I'd be interested to go into to be like, no, we're going to explore the fucking concept of what it means to be multiple different people in the afterlife and yada yada yada. Because I'm tired of children's shows just dancing around the issue. No more. I want hard answers. But oh well. I'll save that for fan fiction. Alphonse, write a fan fiction for me. Not about anything I make, about something else entirely. You have till next week.
Homework? Seriously?
Yes. Correct. You'll be graded on the smut.
Well, you're lucky. I'm home and I like working, so.
That is true. No, you do not. Please don't. I was already talking about. If I gave you homework, it would be to get some sleep. But fucking, what was I just? I was gonna ask about like college assignments and grading on like writing smut and stuff. But here's the thing: I went to art college, and like I saw people who just had like full on like real nudity in like different art pieces and stuff like that. So I don't even necessarily have to ask about if that's okay in a college course. So
Yeah, I would argue that the horniest college students are the culinary school ones.
they're the
Those
ones.
people are freaks.
They have picked up a trade. They're already doing it. Everyone knows that they're freaks. So it's just it's long established tradition, if anything.
I just made a lot of enemies on culinary school.
I know, you'll be fine. I mean, listen, if people getting their masters in culinary are actually freaks, I'm sure they're just like, yeah, hell yeah, love this place. So, oh lord. Yeah, I think I had like a, I You know, I don't know how many snowstorms you've gotten recently in your sand dune island, Alphonse, but we had some bad ones here, which I mentioned, and I'm pretty sure I might have gotten like a cold or what have you, like this weekend. That I was just basically powering through with medicine, but Cahill not feeling too hot. I've been saying this a lot, but I mean, Lord knows, with like some BS at work, as I try to get through my 2 weeks and yada yada yada. I'm just like, I'm running out of gas. I'm running out of gas, boss. Please help. So, not my actual boss. I don't bring my real life problems to him. So, not how I do that. Also, I think I need, yeah. Maybe I just leave this blank. It's a very specific and small amount of head that I shouldn't have said head that I'm showing here. So
no head.
So no head. Break skateboard. I love people finding that on like GeoGuessr and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, Alphonse. I don't know if you saw or even care. I don't know if you read One Piece or not, but fucking Oda has made the One Piece in that he wrote it down.
The treasure in the bottom of the ocean that
Yes.
people are now looking actively for it.
Yes, correct. I don't think, to be fair to Oda, and I wouldn't put it past them for doing this. They didn't necessarily say that they left it there. They just showed them sinking it in the ocean and leaving and photographing it there. So I wouldn't blame them if they moved it, because they're like, hey, this is one of the biggest comic series of all time. We are taking this with us because someone will come looking for it. So better, better get ahead of that. I did see some.
Alex Hirsch did leave an entire fucking.
That is true.
Bill Cipher statue in the middle of the forest, so.
That's different. That's more like a memorial to like the series, as opposed to this, which is an active spoiler for one of the biggest biggest mysteries in all of writing ever. So it's like the
paper. It actually has the meaning of the One Piece.
Yeah.
And it also has an active thread.
It's like, don't you fucking think about it.
If you say a single fucking word,
your whole family's
you will be dead next morning.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say in a different Discord, I saw someone being like, a big YouTuber will probably look for it and like do a whole video about it, spoiling it. And I was like, I think no matter how big the YouTuber, if anyone did that, they'd be fucking tarred and feathered in the street. They'd be just destroyed live on camera, and nothing on earth could stop it. So I don't think we have to worry about a random ass YouTuber doing that. I think we're fine. Probably more devoted ass fan who might go crazy looking for it. Well, I'm so sneezy. I think I mentioned it last week, but like I haven't had like the most viewers in streams recently, which is I do talk about numbers a lot, but I don't care as much about them. I just think they're interesting. But like yesterday, randomly, lots of people. I don't know why, but it happened, it was neat, but I don't know what made that stream different from this one or the one before that. So life is crazy. Alphonse, have you heard about this life thing?
I've heard good and bad things about it.
Yeah, that sounds right. So
I'm willing to give it a try, but
I would recommend.
I don't know if it's going to stick.
You can't opt out of the free trial. Now listen, Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial up to level 70, which includes the.
You know that I'm still on the free trial portion of it, and I never went to the subscription portion of it because I didn't have time.
I literally was thinking about. I was like, someone probably just has played a lot of the trial and has never bothered upgrading, because like especially if it's just like we just capped the level, and it's like then you can just like play through a lot of this probably. Like I'm sure there's like different ways they gate like later parts of the game outside of just the level,
They
but
did raise the level cap, and it happened while I was playing. They raised the level cap when they released
End
the
Walker,
moon expansion thingy, the Moonwalker thingy.
that's
Um,
End
they
Walker, I
raised
think.
the level cap for the free expansion, which I appreciate. But that fucked me over because that went from, oh, I'm about to, get the subscription and start doing the paid content,
uh
to, oh, I have a
I can do
hundred
more
more,
free. Yeah.
like 100 more free quests that I'm going to do before paying for the game. And I never paid for it because I ran out of time. I had work and life stuff to do. So
Was the thing,
wait, no, not life, not life. I still haven't tried that.
No, ignore it. I have to be kayfabe. Was it? There's something about like fucking MMO, like just fucking UI and gameplay experiences that makes it that I'm like I have no desire to try this out ever. Like I've done like 2 streams where I tried 2 different MMOs. I'm like, no, I'm good. Fucking, it's not like I don't try them. I just don't like them. We're gonna play Monster Hunter World tomorrow, and when I say we, I mean me because it's not crossplay, and I'm very early in the game. So even if it was, we wouldn't have much interesting multiplayer content to do. But anyway, fucking
We're playing it on PS4, right?
yeah. Well, technically PS5, but it's the PS4 copy.
I can get it. Only if we do, the story. Because the only reason I bought Wilds is because it has a story,
Yeah.
and arguably the thing that everyone hates the most about the Worlds is the story because Monster Hunter players only like the arcade.
No, listen. As someone who likes certain story stuff in Monster Hunter, I shan't stand for the slander of people who speak out against it. Because the thing is like that it's legitimately a very good thing Monster Hunter has done in the past, and to a degree still now. Like it's not like wholly gone just because they're doing more story stuff. It's like you don't need a big story right in front of you. It's a world you're already inhabiting, and you can just go and fight whatever monsters you want. It's kind of like like earlier, not modern Pokemon, because but fucking like at least early Pokemon where it's just like yeah, there's kind of a story, but mostly the appeal is just inhabiting the world and kind of forging your own narrative with a character you made. But anyway, I was gonna say. First off, Alphonse, don't get World if you're just like no, I just want to play story stuff with friends. I don't think that. I don't necessarily know how much of that I would do, and I don't know if that'd be worth it for you. But we can play other games together. But also, like, just going from like even Wilds / like I was playing Generations Ultimate and Monster Hunter 3 not too long, like last year, like fucking World has just it has certain UI stuff that reminds me of MMORPGs, and I mean that negatively. So it's like I'm just like there's a lot going on here, and I feel like you could have, minimized that. So I don't think you need it all of this all the time forever, but lots of people like Monster Hunter World, so clearly Capcom knows stuff that I don't. So Capcom.
It has an MMO derogatory feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree. I was like, I don't know how much I like this game. Like, and I'm only like a little over a dozen hours in, and for a while I was like, but I've been warming up. I'm like, there's lots to like. I can see why people like this, even though I think if anything, maybe people were even being too nice to it at first. Like, I've heard some people criticize it before back when it came out. And even then, I'm like, compared to other Monster Hunters, yeah, there's had a lot of room for improvement for when it released. But what was I thinking of? Something Monster Hunter. I don't know. Oh yeah, but I mean, I've been enjoying it now. I think in part because I've gotten past like low. I'm in high rank, which it kind of helps because they're not shoving as much story into your face. They're not just like, do this quest right now for this story reason. They're just like, hey, there's a thing happening. Maybe do this quest. And I'm like, okay, maybe at some point. I fucking, you're not my mom, so. But yeah. Have you not played a lot of like just, just you haven't played a lot of Generations Ultimate or what have you, Alphonse? Not a big Monster Hunter guy yourself.
My history with Monster Hunter is that I played Freedom Unite because when I got my PSP, I got a copy of Freedom Unite with the PSP. And I was like, cool. I haven't seen Monster Hunter since PS2. I wasn't big on that, but it's been years since it, so I might as well try it. I tried. I got to the Kesu. I hated the fucking thing. I got to like the final bosses of the main campaign, which is like really short. I didn't do any of the challenges. I was like, God, it's a really hard, challenging game. I was talking to friends about it, and they were like, you're not supposed to play this game alone, right? I was like, what do you mean? It's a multiplayer game. You need to play with other people. I was like, didn't they balance it for single player? And they were like, nah.
No. I mean, I don't know about like older like Freedom Unite stuff. If they're just like, nope, everything's set to 4-player. So if you're trying to play single player, oh lord,
that Freedom Unite is clearly designed for at least a minimum of 2 players, minimum. Because some of the later monsters, they just like wail on you. Like you need a tank. You need a tank taking the attacks of the monster. But then I started playing Wilds on my own. Max told me, hey, you can come play with us because it will be more fun and it will, we can wait around while you watch the cutscenes. Then everything started going to shit on my computer and I never continued it.
That is a problem. I mean, heck, if you want to play it, I've been saying for a while that I need to get back into Wild, so, like, if you're like, yeah, I'll get back, then I can always pal around with you on some quests if you want, but what was I thinking of? But yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter definitely, like, I just feel like, in part, because I know you've played a good amount of Souls games, but I think in part because I've played slightly later Monster Hunters than Freedom Unite with Generations and the 3DS games, and because I enjoy a good challenge and being able to be like, yeah, I get to customize my own guy and fight this big dude. I'm having such a good time. Like that has helped me get into it even when I'm playing single player. But yeah, it is. I would argue, like, again, that's another reason why I'd be like, no, I completely understand people who are like, I don't want Monster Hunter to just be like a story campaign game purely and lose what it had originally, because to some degree, like, I was just thinking of, like, Monster Hunter is filling a niche, and if you make it just kind of more, I don't want to say generic, but that is basically the word of just like, if you just make it kind of like every other game, then it loses what people were kind of going. Let's just like, I played this game because it was like, it was the only game like it, and now it's not like that anymore. So I guess I'm gonna play fucking Marvel Rivals or something. Might as well, anyone want to play Rivals or whatever, so. I like Rivals too, but I just have to think of something for people to play when they've lost the love of their lives. So. But yeah.
I cannot speak for Monster Hunter that much because, my experience is the first one, which was an experience.
Probably.
It was you enter this map, just like touch the pile of shit, see if you find something. That was the gameplay, was like rummaging through monster shit and then sometimes fighting monsters, and it's like, and then Freedom Unite, which was like arguably what Monster Hunter was for like at least 6 years. I would argue that Monster Hunter was like that for a while.
I think from what
only that portable and with bad controls.
From what I've seen, I feel like it looked like Freedom Unite was just like pretty dang close to Monster Hunter 1. So like, if you
Yeah.
didn't like Monster Hunter 1, I don't think you necessarily like that. I think Monster Hunter has probably mostly just gotten better over the years and a lot of, in speaking in very broad strokes. So going back to the first one is like, that's not, you're probably not going to have a great time. So I
It has certainly become more interactable. Like I love seeing the ecosystems like being more fleshed out, like
yeah.
seeing some big monsters eating some other big monsters, and the herds of the part on the beginning of Wilds where you have like the stampede because there is a predator
Yeah.
scaring the herbivores. That was good.
Yeah.
That was really nice. Like some other times you just have the herbivores on previous Monster Hunters. You just have them sitting there getting killed, doing
I
nothing.
I can understand, like, I mean, Stealth is like, uh, s- Stealth likes Wild. He's fucking been playing it again recently, but like he's the one I go to, and I'm like, oh yeah, this criticism, because like he was like, yeah, they didn't really use the open, like, it's not open world, but you know they didn't really do the do much of the connected maps. But thing is, I like the maps in Wilds. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in them, so I'm not like that upset. Maybe they'll do more if they add stuff in whatever DLC they're making, but fucking, you know, it. I look forward. I think Wild's greatest sin was that Capcom didn't bother actually like properly doing a good PC port for the, you know, simultaneous release, and that screwed a lot of folks over, which sucks as much for those people as it does for Wild's the video game, because it just wanted to have fun, man. It didn't mean to break everyone's computer. It didn't mean to crash a bunch of fucking PCs. It was its dad's fault. So, oh my lord, I am like I'm like not feeling well right now, which is upsetting because
Hey, if you need resting, you should probably go get some rest.
I know you're being sincere and you're a good friend. It's insane that you've said that to me after like literally the first conversation we've had in this stream. It's crazy. How dare you say that to me? But also thank
I
you.
know that it
You're
might not be the best example, but
I,
also remember that my words were, I slept 3 hours and I'm feeling
I
fine.
know.
You actively said that you're feeling bad.
Now,
So,
oh, now you use my words against me that you aren't the best example of what a sleep schedule should look like. I cannot believe all of this. Cannot believe the day I'm having. I don't know. Because what am I gonna do? Because if I at least want to, I always try to make stream at least 2 hours, and fucking, what am I gonna do if I end stream right now, you know? Get ready for work, go to bed, go into work, and then suffer. That doesn't sound good. So, like, you know.
I think if
Uh,
you can hold for at least 1 more hour, you can manage to get the 2 hours that you want to do.
I do want I want those 2 hours, Alphonse. Bring them to me.
I get the feeling because my streams are at least 2 hours. If I'm going to do less, it's like this could have been a gameplay. This could have been something that I recorded off stream and you know edited and uploaded instead of being here for 40 minutes, which makes no sense.
I mean, some people do decently short streams just as like, hi, I'm doing something real quick, but yeah.
Yeah, some of our acquaintances also stream like once a year.
Yeah, that too.
So,
But I like to do regular streams that are a somewhat good length of like, like, there's plenty of like, when I'm just like watching YouTube for fun around the house, where I'm just like, this video, maybe it's not like a VOD, but it is just like straight like someone doing something for a full amount of time, is like 2 hours long, and I'm just like, that's perfect. I'll just have this on as I do stuff. So, I, I for a while I was like, are my streams too short? But I'm like, no, these are literally like the length of YouTube videos I watch. So, I try to at least do that. But yeah, like you said, if I press go live and it's like 40 minutes, I'm just like, was that even a did I even do anything? Was that anything? I don't think so. So, Life Arrow.
Remember when I said that I
Oh,
felt like really jealous about your lettering?
yes.
Seeing you actively doing it, not like the final product like I saw
Mm-hmm.
on the one page that I told you that about your lettering about. Uh, the way you make it like, because I understand how you do it now. So
Yeah.
the
But
the way you are doing it, like making it the letters consistent by making a huge block and then carving the letters out of that block so they are all the same size, and like it's really fascinating.
yeah, like I'm basically Michelangelo, except that my handwriting is crap, and also like the one you saw I was doing by hand, and that took a while, and I was like, I don't want to do this by hand anymore. I'll just do it digital. So, like that was an experiment, but yeah, lettering can be fun,
Yeah,
but
no, that page you did do it by hand. Yeah, I forgot that about that part that you did that by hand, so you cannot do what you're doing right now.
yeah, but fucking like, you know, sometimes you just gotta you want an effect that a basic ass font is not about to give you. So at that point, then I gotta be like, okay, try to make big old letters. But I mean, I this is. I don't want to say this is common knowledge because not everyone knows my like entire life and is at all my streams. But fucking, I I am left-handed, except that absolutely just totally destroyed my left arm twice in my life at an early age. So now I'm right-handed, and my
Oh,
handwriting looks awful. It's just the worst.
so
It's
you're a
very.
fellow corrected left-handed.
I mean, that's here's the thing, Alphonse. I know I am familiar with the experience you are talking about. That would be incorrect because like I went to a Catholic school and like I did start learning to write left-handedly, and I don't remember them ever like scolding me over that or doing anything about it. I, as a naive child, just managed to just I can't stress this enough, just destroy the bones in my left arm to the point where I couldn't write with it anymore. So like I wasn't corrected as much as the option was removed from me entirely without anyone having to do anything. So
In
they
in my case, I didn't go to a Catholic school, but I
mhm.
did have like on my first years of school, I did
An
have
asshole
a
teacher,
really extremist Catholic
of course,
teacher. Yeah, and she had like three things against me.
of
One,
course.
I was left-handed. Two, I'm a redhead,
Oh my
technically.
lord.
Like my hair is darker now, but
Yeah,
when I was a kid, it
with
was
age.
really red. And also, my parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, so she didn't like me at all.
Oh my lord. Alphonse, you know, I will say, I don't think we hang out enough, which is in part almost certainly because you have an insane sleep schedule, and catching you is like, oh my gosh, it's Alphonse, and then like a wisp, you're gone. But
I do what I
also,
can.
no, you're good. I blame myself as much, but for like anytime I'm like, I don't hang out with this person enough, I'm usually blaming myself, if not internally, externally. But fucking, I feel like I could hang out with you all the time a lot, and you would still just say just wild things to me. Just stuff about like, just like, yeah, you know how like I was like part of a pirate crew when I was like a young teen and I traveled the world for a while. I'm like, no, I didn't know that, Alphonse. It's crazy. Like I didn't. I know I also know the thing you're talking about where it's like when I was a kid I had like bright red hair but it got dark. Like I used to have bright blonde hair and now it's like basically brown because it got darker over time. But no, I did not know you were a small leprechaun when you were a child. That is also news to me. So
Was but a wee leprechaun.
I know you
But
could.
yeah, no, she corrected me, and I'm technically now ambidextrous, but my left hand writing, like most of my reactions Like when I'm going to grab something, I do it with my left hand, but writing, I do it with my right hand. My handwriting is shit, and with my left hand is even worse. So
Beans. Ah, beans. Was a thing. Also, I gotta figure out. I like how I inferred some kind of like punishment for myself if I don't finish this specific set of panels tonight. Here's the thing though, I'm probably not going to. I feel like crap. So like
I think that a single panel, just finishing this panel, is enough for you.
well, I'm gonna keep going because I still want to do plenty more stream, but I'm just saying I'm not gonna hold myself to that. I'm more understanding than capitalism or a Catholic teacher. I don't have to torture myself to constantly put out more and more and more. That's
You
what I'm.
want me to go grab your belt and
No,
like give you some space
that's
to punish yourself?
what a wildly just like kinky and traumatic thing you've just said to me. Just truly insane. Truly insane that you would say that on stream. Anyway, yeah, please go get the belt. I've been a bad boy. I've been a bad boy, Alphonse. Please, I'm begging you.
And you made it
Yeah,
worse.
it was already bad. Don't act otherwise. Yeah. I don't want to get into like anything too serious, but fucking people like that teacher you're describing, where it's just like left-handedness is an offense to God. I'm just like, I don't know. How are you a real person? How are you a real person with like quote unquote serious beliefs? That's insane. That's nuts.
How do people leave kids in your church?
Just like, how do people? How are you a teacher? How are you a licensed teacher? Absolutely nutso. So, but that's life for you. Lots of crazy folks.
I mean, luckily most of my teachers were like good teachers. The rest of my studying years, like,
Yeah,
I have really fond memories about a lot of them.
That's good. I would say that I didn't have like a real bad teacher until I got to like college, and then I had like this one asshole teacher, and he was like, "Yeah, Dragon Ball Z sucks," and I'm like, "The fucking leave my site and never return." So, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't like tech. I'm a Luddite," and I was like, I had to Google what that means, and I officially like, you're get out of here, go. So, is it Luddite or Luddite? I don't know. You can
Luddite, I think in English, yeah.
You can be a Luddite, but also like he had a smartphone and shit. So like
I'm a Luddite, but I love Apple
exactly like
because they go against the mainstream technology.
that is exactly the kind of vibe he gave off, and I'm just like, okay, fucking, or that. I don't care anymore. I'm just getting through this class to get to the rest of college, basically. So that was the vibe. So yeah, you can just like, to be clear, he was a jerk outside of saying that thing. You can call yourself a Luddite if you want. You could also just say you don't like technology. I don't like technology. That's fine. You don't have to be like, I subscribe to a belief system, because like, especially if you're still like, if you I subscribe to this belief system, but also I absolutely love playing Monster Hunter Wilds on my PS5. So it's like,
I'm gonna need anyone that says they are a Luddite to destroy a piece of technology that belongs to them in front of me before they actually continue.
I'm not even going that. I'm not gonna even go that extreme. I'm just saying, it like, again, but before you go for that option and say that, consider, can you just say, I do not enjoy technology. I'm not a fan of it, because if the answer is yes, then you can do, that's an option to you. So there's like literally, I saw a clip from a TV show essentially echoing this sentiment long after I was out of college and shit like that. Fucking about being like, don't you have like a private jet, and you say you're a luddite, so maybe don't, maybe don't do that. So life's weird. Life's weird. I'm not trying to preach too much. I'm just like, if anything, it's kind of. I don't want to say it's weird that word exists because I do think there's like a whole thing where it's like, well, it's this, that, and the other thing. So clearly, at least at one point or currently, there were people with a whole system for that. But yeah,
Yeah, and also the thing with Luddites that a lot of them don't seem to understand is that Luddites didn't hate technology; they hated automation that would replace humanity.
no, well, that's
The
topical.
reason they hated technology is because they were, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong. Um, Either they worked on prints or textile. I don't remember which one, but they destroyed the machines that were replacing them because they were replacing them.
Don't
That's
call
the Luddite movement.
don't call yourself a luddite unless you actively destroy textile mills. I swear, all these posers out here, like.
Like current day Luddites would be burning like AI servers.
Oh, that would be nice. But
That would
fucking
be really nice. Yeah.
yeah. No, that's what I'm not even trying to gatekeep the term. I'm just like, it feels like a very specific word when alternatively you could also just say I do not enjoy using Apple devices, or I do not enjoy smartphones. Like, that's okay. I feel very similarly. So it's like that,
It's
bro.
yeah. It's funny because I'm a bit pretentious every now and then, especially when it comes to, coffee, and I don't tend to be preachy with people, but when I'm,
When
talking
it's
to my
12
wife
o'clock,
about it, it's one of my passions, and
is coffee.
I have my opinions about certain things that I
Yeah.
usually don't preach about it to people because I don't want to sound like an asshole because I'm really not. Like, I don't care how you make your coffee. I hate the tiny, like, coffee pots, the Nespresso capsule thingies.
Ah. Okay. Be
I don't
graded.
like them. I don't like their taste. I don't like how they work. I don't like the process. I think that one of AP,
Pig.
don't mind me ranting about coffee.
Yeah. We're going on about Luddites, and almost certainly I sounded stupid while doing so, but
Why did I start talking about coffee when we were Oh, yeah, today talking about coffee with Nea. I did mention that it's a shame that the coffee grinder that we use is electric because the blades keep spinning on the beans that have been grounded already, which kind of burns them and gives them a more bitter taste. While my grandpa used to have a coffee grinder that was just a metal crank thing with like a wooden basket under it, so the grounds would fall to the basket, and only the beans would stay on the crank part, which means that you don't over grind them. And I was like, some technology just like moves forward, but not for the best.
no, you're right. Like, here's the thing. I think the stuff we were saying before was almost maybe more rude than that, because like I get you're right. You're right that like people are well, not people, but like people. Yeah, this is what I mean to say. People will be like, "Behold, my new gadget," and like technically, it's like yes, step forward, but I kind of prefer how we were doing it before. It kind of better. So, I fucking my mom. This is not necessarily the same because like in terms of like function, I'm sure it was fine, but specifically, th- this annoyed me. I used to live in a house where my room was on the first floor near the kitchen, um, and my mom had a little device that made eggs, that made hard boiled eggs or what have you for breakfast, right? And like that's fine, that's great, it's real cool. You don't have to make like a whole pot or whatever. You just get your eggs in there. There is the problem of like when it would be done, it would it would sing a little song. It would be an egg device that sang a little song. Now, I want you to think about how much, not Alphonse, because we've discussed that he's some kind of like otherworldly being that doesn't need sleep. But I want you, the viewer at home, to think what it's like to constantly wake up at no. This is the problem, Trom. It wasn't like a song. It was like it was like a fucking royalty-free jingle that they downloaded
A
into this.
2-second jingle that repeats
Yes.
until you open it.
Yes, exactly that. And I want you, the viewer at home, not Alphonse, who never sleeps ever, no matter what. I want you to imagine what it's like to wake up at 6 o'clock every day, no matter what day it is, to the egg song. How much could you listen to how much could you listen to a 3-second loop of the egg song repeatedly? Probably for, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes every day at 5 o'clock in the morning before you just start going insane and want to destroy your beloved mother's egg machine. Because you love your mom, but Lord, that egg machine can go die in a hole. Lord, just like, there's no reason. It could have been a light. Like Alphonse said, it's like, there's no reason for this to be part of the function of this new electronic gadget. It's insane that you did this.
It could have been beeping, like it could have been a simple sound. It didn't need to be a 2-second loop jingle.
A constantly repeating jingle. And this is what I'm saying, right? I wouldn't think about that machine and go, and I'm a Luddite. I'm just saying this, like, I don't like technology. That was a stupid little gadget that we owned for a while, and that I was forced to endure as a man living next to a kitchen. So, yeah, some gadgets are I have plenty of family members right now who love little Amazon gadgets and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm good, because I feel like a lot of times those things are like, they maybe do like one function, maybe, but besides that, they're just kind of like, you know, not they're not the most useful. They're not like fucking Roxy or whatever her name is from the Jetsons. They're little doodads that probably cost a little too much money and don't really work the way they are advertised, because nothing does. So
I don't know if it is the same, boiled egg cooker that your mother had.
Mm-hmm.
But I found a Reddit post, well, a Reddit thread of people complaining.
Please DM it to me. Please, I beg of you.
The dash egg cooker signal and how to get rid of the speaker. And people being like, you can put tape on top of the speaker and you won't hear it, or you can locate the speaker and unscrew it. And it's like, or you could just boil a fucking egg. It's it's water on a pot.
Or you could use one of the many pots you almost certainly have when you bought your house and got your first kitchen to make some eggs. But yes, please send that to me. I would love to confirm whether or not it is the same egg maker. I don't know if they have a picture or if they just have the brand specifically.
It didn't have a picture, but they might have mentioned brand names at some point.
Oh goodness. I had a bunch of just unseen messages in my text, and I'm just like, I've said this a lot before.
Low poly rat.
Low poly rat. I've said this before. I again, not to be like, it's weird people call themselves Luddite, but and then also talk about how much I don't like technology, but phones. And honestly, I should be shot on sight for just starting a rant like that, because like that's the start of a boomer
Cahill,
comedy.
we need to be Luddites about phones.
No,
what is this sorcery about, instant
no.
communication? No, I need my messages delivered by a person. I need my messages
I need a
by
pigeon
and delivered by no, fuck pigeons. I'm a Luddite about pigeons too. I need a person to take a 2 or 3 months, even a fucking year-long trip just to deliver a message.
I was just definitely talked before about being like fucking just people constantly texting and being like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? where are you? And I'm just like, I was searching for my inner self. I guess I was looking for some alone time, but since you can text me whenever, I guess I suppose that won't be happening now or ever. Tato. Yeah, yeah. Not to get too on my high horse about that, because like obviously text messaging and being able to reach people is good. I most of my friends are over messaging, but just like I said, sometimes I want to be out of reach for just a little bit. I want to be not immediately like just disturbable. And you might say, well, phones typically come with a do not disturb feature. A lot of people I know just ignore that. Just ignore that and just text you anyway. And like not in that they'll push past the do not disturb. They will text you and then it'll be ignored by your phone because you set your phone to do that. And then they just don't understand why you did it. I'm just like, please. I just want to play Monster Hunter World for a little bit. I'm begging you.
I mean, they could go the extra mile and install the game just to message you inside the game.
Friend request. Please. I've fallen in the bathroom. Come help me.
I have been messaging you for like half an hour. I had to order a PlayStation
No,
on
order
my toilet to be
a
able to
monitor, a PlayStation. I had to get PSN. I had to fucking. Yeah, I have to get through several tutorials in Monster Hunter World. Yeah. You know. Yeah, so to summarize, just to cover all my bases, the whole Luddite thing we were talking about, my teacher was an asshole for that because he was a jerk. But I'm just saying you can also just say you don't like technology because, like I said, same. I
mean, you can call yourself a Luddite. Like a lot of terms have lost their original meaning, and I don't mind.
I'm not even saying that's what I'm saying. I'm not an expert on that term. This is what I'm saying, Alphonse. I don't have that much investment in labeling yourself that to begin with. I was just summarizing my thoughts as like, you know, my teacher was a jerk. Separately, you don't have to say you're a Luddite. You can also just say you don't like technology because that is valid and understood. You can say you don't like technology and still use it because, you know, modern life. So my ordinary
I don't like
life.
sleep, and I still have to do it.
Well, Alphonse, that's a different thing we've talked about, and you are an outlier. We can't stress this enough. Alphonse is an outlier. Please don't go 3 days without sleeping. Only Alphonse.
No, I'm the Messiah. Listen to me.
Don't
dehydrate yourselves and don't sleep.
I won't let you back on stream if you start calling yourself the Messiah for so many reasons. They're like truly just a wild list of reasons. No, you're good. It's like this took a even weirder turn than we were originally going for. So.
Wait, this is not my platform to grow my cult.
This is not my real life playthrough of Cult of the Lamb. Hi YouTube, what is up? Today I'm going to be playing Cult of the Lamb in real life. I took a dozen people out to the woods and told them to start worshipping me. And then I went to kill a homeless man I found camping 5 miles from our base. Like and subscribe for part 2. Good morning, campers. Today's challenge: kill each other. The Total Drama Island reboot is weird. I did not watch a lot of reality TV when I was a kid, which is probably a good thing. But I did watch Total Drama Island, and that was deceptively similar. So.
I only know that show from my American friends and memes because I'm pretty sure that it did like air at some point in Spain, but I don't think it was like super common. It wasn't on my radar until, you know, I saw it on the internet and the memes about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure I have seen the drawings at some point on TV. Like I
yeah. Well, it was
I remember some of the characters, but
It's like it has like an art
You-
style that a number of shows beside it shared on Cartoon, probably from like the same studio on Cartoon Network. I like that art style, honestly. But
Is it Cartoon Network or is it Nickelodeon?
it
Because it
was
has a Nickelodeon vibe to me.
well, that's what. No, it was Cartoon Network for sure. And also, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I mean, we're literally just talking about streaming, but it's not like cable was ever that much better. You know, it's like different countries have different local stations, and America is obviously like fucking the Hollywood's here, so they're just like, you get everything. They will get the scraps, and I'm like, I feel weird about that, but okay. Like, you know, you're not guaranteed for like your local station in any one country to play all the shows that are on like Cartoon Network here, you know, because maybe like they just don't care. They're just like,
Oh,
we're gonna localize some stuff, but not everything, because what
it did release in Spain. You
Mhm.
know where?
where
It released on Disney XD
that's
right before
insane.
Disney XD got killed.
That's
Like
insane.
the moment Disney XD got like completely axed,
Hmm.
Total Drama Island was there for like a year. Not even a year. It was there from October to March of 2011, 2012.
Fucking Alphonse, I'm gonna say something to you, and you're not going to believe me. It's insane that Disney ever aired any of Total Drama Island and fucking in any country, because there are tits on that show. I'm not
Are there
joking.
tits on that
There
show?
are there are at least like 2 instances in the series where a girl loses her top and she has like censored boobies on it. So it's in it, and like for Cartoon Network, that was already like, wow, that's wild that they aired that on here. It's exponentially more insane that Disney was like, yeah, we'll show that to kids elsewhere too. So just
I
crazy.
know that Disney XD wanted to be marketed as the, the extreme channel, the one that teenagers watch.
So
But that seems like a bit too much for Disney. Like
that's
you
a
said,
bridge
yeah.
too. I mean, this was all. I also remember there's like this. I want to. Let me see. Cartoon Network. Because I think this was around the same time. Network. Gold themed. Like. Night. There's like this one. Fucking. Gold themed. Gold segment. There's like this one. This is like a because Cartoon Network would have different periods, you know, where they where like they would have different framing devices for the shows coming on, and I think it was around that time, like they were airing Clone Wars. Like I remember I'm pretty sure Clone Wars and Total Drama Island were on Cartoon Network for me to watch at the same time, and like Clone Wars also has some decently like more mature stuff going on in it.
I mean,
Granted,
Clone
not for
Wars, if you're talking about are you talking about the animated 2D show or the beginning of the 3D one?
the 3D one. And I know the 3D one, like, yeah, it's more for kids to start out with, but still, it's still I don't think at any point it ever like wasn't like a war show. Like it got dark. Like it definitely. Obviously it didn't get to like final season from like Disney Plus shit that on like when it was premiering on Cartoon Network, but it still got dark on Like there was that one episode with Grievous and Kit Fisto where like he just kills Kit Fist. Yeah. So like my point is like clearly there was somewhat of a time when Cartoon Network was like, we are okay doing like weirdly more adult stuff. I used to think.
I mean, yeah, Cartoon Network had like really dark things sometimes. Like the 2D Clone Wars show had a lot of like body horror.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
remember the proto Avatar tribe that they had on the show
I
that
did not.
turned into like cyborgs because the the separatists were like experimenting on them.
In like the 3D Clone Wars show, or is it because I didn't
No,
see?
the 2D Clone Wars show.
I
The
did not
2D
see.
one.
I didn't see all of that. That's Kendra Tartakovsky, right? The Samurai Jack.
Yeah, the on that show we had an Akira-looking motherfucker that drives a bike, and when you cut them, he regenerates with like tentacles.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like muscle fibers, his whole body, and he regenerates anything, to the point where he absorbs Obi-Wan, and he just blows him up from the inside with the Force.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, that's a bit too much for a show where people fight robots.
I mean, I.
But also then the episode where Anakin finds a tribe of like enslaved cyborg, mutated avatar people.
That's
That it's like body horror is the only way I can describe it.
understandable. Yeah, no, I haven't watched that one. I mean, like, I need to watch. I need to like fully watch Samurai Jack and shit like that. But also, fucking, I can put respect on the original 2D Clone Wars, but I think we would be naive if we, like, you know, didn't recognize how good 3D Clone Wars ended up being and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I don't think, like, there's cool clone stuff in 2D Clone Wars I've seen for sure, but they didn't bother to like humanize the clones in the same way that 3D Clone Wars did. I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't a weird transition moment, I think, on the
sure.
canon of Star Wars, because the 2D Clone Wars still kind of respected the original canon that clones betray the Jedi because they
like orders
want to. They are they are ordered to do it. And then the 3D Clone Wars one is where they start establishing the whole like, oh, they have a chip. Oh, the chip is actually like a bio chip implanted on their brains and stuff like that. Like,
I again, Star Wars has had just wild canon stuff because of George Lucas, but the chip is not the worst one, in part because on top of like helping to spackle over, like, you know, that the series focused so much on the clones being chill guys only to then kill the Jedi, and it's like, why would they do that? It also is just like, yeah, just have just like Sidious just like remove like a million's people autonomy at the start of his reign, just to kick things off, just as a sampler, you know, just brainwash like all these people that he's basically created for a sole purpose, and will then shortly allow to die. Like, of ridiculous Star Wars stuff that has happened, brain chips, not the worst one. Actually kind of worked for storytelling purposes and stuff like that. But anyway, I was just gonna say, we can argue, not you and me, Alphonse, because I don't think you're that invested, but like me and the internet can argue original Clone Wars versus Dave Filoni Clone Wars all day, but only one of them has Captain Rex, and Captain Rex fucking rules. So, you know.
Oh, but I'm a fucking dirty Fordo defender, dude.
listen. Isn't he also in like 3D Clone Wars, but as a dick? Isn't he like the captain of the Capitol Guard and shit like that?
No. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. I think he becomes part of the ARC troopers. You know, the elite ones.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Rex ends up being part of.
Oh, okay. So he's not like, because I remember there's one where it's like there's like a particular dickhead who's like part of like the guard on Coruscant, and like he shows up a couple times in the series. But yeah, like, I mean, but
Fordo is the one that on the show wears a red armor, and he just drops the rifle, gets two guns, and starts blasting with two guns. And he's like the main captain of the Power Ranger troop that they had on the 2D show, because everyone had a different color, even though they were part of the same squadron. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it, they were the Power Rangers.
But I'm just looking up some stuff. Well, this is treating like the battle on Coruscant is still to be clear, he could have still done that in the like 2003 show, you know, when like Coruscant was
Yeah.
getting invaded. Um, but I mean, also, if you are confirming that, fucking, you know, he's in, like, yeah, he doesn't get a bunch of cool scenes in the 3D show, but if he is still in the 3D show, then I think that's still a point towards its favor, because then it has him and Captain Rex.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
no.
like,
If you ask me, I do prefer like the 3D show, both in like themes and like fleshing out of characters. Like, I didn't like the animation at first because it was like blocky, and I found it ugly, and I didn't like it at first. But after watching the whole thing and the Bad Batch and everything Star Wars animated,
yeah.
like the 3D Clone Wars is by far some of the best content Star Wars has had.
No,
Period.
I agree. But also, it's I say this as an artist, and like I could get crucified. It's insane for you to be like, it was so blocky, and I'm like, I'm looking at like the 2003 Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and I'm like, these are the same picture. Both of these are incredibly like stylistic, like geometric design reinterpretations of the Star Wars designs. Like, you know, they go different directions in some places, but no matter how you split it, it's still just like they have rendered Star Wars characters down into like very like sharp and like rounded out shapes, you know, like both of them did that. So I felt the same way looking at the 2003 Clone Wars for the first time, because I was like, this is kind of the same, but they look weird, because, you know, like I said, it is, at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing. It's just a different approach to it. So it's wild.
Oh,
Art's crazy.
for the Wikipedia is marked as legends because
Uh
this is what I was going to say. I don't think they ever called him Further on the
there's
3D show.
there's just like a red
Like,
clone guard
yeah,
at one point.
there is a group of ARC troopers that don't have an established name, but they kind of resemble the ARC troopers that you see on the 2D shows. So they were like retconning Fordo and that squad, being like, oh no, they still exist.
Yeah.
They are just not entirely canon, so don't worry about it. And it's like, that sucks. I also like what they did with. I like the concept of the ARC troopers on the original show, and I know that the books and everything else get a lot more in detail with it back in Legends,
Hmm.
and the show was like minimal what they did, but I like seeing the difference in like, oh, this is your average trooper with their blaster and their, you know, like their specialty. Like, this one's a sniper, this one has a machine gun, period. That was the main difference between troopers. And then you had these like Power Ranger looking motherfuckers being like, oh, this one is only a sniper, this one uses dual guns, this one has a bazooka for some reason. Like, they were like different, and they really explore that more on the 3D Clone Wars show,
Yeah.
where they all like started showing like different abilities.
And
Like,
personalities.
yeah, Heavy wasn't really good at aiming, but he was good at tanking and protecting the others, and Tech was good at
Yeah,
tech.
that's a Bad Batch.
Fuck, the whole concept. No, before Bad Batch. Like, I mean, before Tech joined the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your average shinies, how they call them, the
Yeah.
normal troopers, the ones that still don't have like stains on their armor.
Mm-hmm.
y- Even the shinies had like differences between them, to the point where they started adopting names that they only use
Yeah.
between the clones, because none of the Jedi would call them by name. They would call them CT, whatever the
No,
number
no,
is.
no. I mean, nerd correct you there, because that's specifically like that. Like one asshole Jedi whose name I do know, but I'm not fucking. It's not going to mean anything to anyone who doesn't know the series.
The
But
forearm asshole, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, there's plenty of Jedi generals who are like, no, this, you know, this is my buddy got
Yeah,
clone
a
name.
lot
So
of Jedi adopted that, but like, I think that even Windu a lot of times use the CT numbers.
yeah, I would have to rewatch. Which I mean, I would. I was thinking of. I'd have to rewatch the series to definitively
I
say like,
do like there is a really slow episode with Yoda that I really like.
Oh yeah,
That
it's an early one where he's like talking to
yeah,
the
it's
clones.
one of the early ones, but canonically it happens like late on the Clone
Yeah,
Wars. Like if you see the timeline, it's like you would have to watch like 4 seasons before you get to one of the
I kind of want to do
first
that
season
because when I
episodes.
learned that, I was like, that fucks with my head. Let me watch this in chronolo. Let me watch the war play out in chronological order. What the fuck do you mean that
Yeah,
the earliest episodes are late
and
in the war?
yeah, and Yoda being like, "Oh, in the eyes of the Force, you look different,"
Mhm.
and that's how he remembers who each clone is.
Yeah,
Because even though they all look the same, he sees them through the Force, and through the Force, they are not the same.
yeah.
Which is like baffling because then they hit you with, "Oh, clones are not Force sensitive because clones are cut off from the Force," and it's like, so Yoda was just cheating them.
I, did he ever say that or fucking? 'Cause I don't
Oh,
remember.
it is established that cloning a force-sensitive user is really hard, if not impossible, and that's a whole like topic in the Bad Batch and the whole like Grogu slash Baby Yoda thing,
Gotcha.
that clones and also the whole like sequel trilogy that clone individuals cannot be force-sensitive
Hmm.
until they decided that they can,
I
and
was literally
everything went to shit.
I was literally about to say because you're talking about legends and shit like that. It's like at this point, I've like literally kind of come to the conclusion that for like the same conclusion for Star Wars as like I have for like Dragon Ball, where it's like I don't fucking care what happens after like Return of the Jedi chronologically, you know. It's like you can try making it, but I'm like fucking it doesn't matter. Like the whole point was it's like he brought Bal, it's all good. Fucking it's all why the fuck. The only reason there is another problem exists in the galaxy at this moment is because you wanted to make more merch, and I feel like that gives me every right to be like I don't care. So, and to be clear, I can say that as much about like Legends as I can about like the sequel trilogy. I liked the sequels when they started coming out. I was like, this is fun, and then, but anyway, fucking like it's like I'm not really gonna take this as like a definitive history of the world that is happening because fucking again you have made this so that you can sell merch at Disney World, so I'm just ignore that for right now because like there's literally other information in canon about like no, it doesn't work like that. I don't know why you thought it worked like that, but it doesn't. So, but yeah, I I've been talked about this a lot on stream at this point about like yeah, I think if companies are just gonna keep making franchise shit, people should be allowed to choose and pick which specific you know good shows and entries are like canon versus what's not because you know we shouldn't be forced to be like yes this like random ass spin-off that isn't good at all is as equally as important as this important piece of art from like 2 decades ago that the whole thing is based on. It's like I don't think that works like that. So
I want to defend authorship sometimes because it's important, and
oh yeah.
I like how George Lucas did it, where he the way they describe how he handled the having other people make Star Wars content is that he would go to the studios or he would go to the offices with a stamp, a red stamp and a green stamp,
Oh my
and
lord.
he would like see the things and be like approve, not approve, approve, not approve. Like he would judge and consider what could or not be canon.
Mhm.
And I like that. I like that. It's your franchise, it's your product, so you can decide that. But at the same time, then you have that happened with people like Koji Igarashi, one of the main developers of Castlevania, where he thought he was the author of Castlevania, even though he was only important from, Castlevania Symphony of the Night onwards,
Yeah.
where he would straight up say that some games were not canon, and people would consider them as not canon because Koji Igarashi said it, like Castlevania Legends or any of the 64 Castlevanias, the two games on Nintendo 64 are not canon because Koji Igarashi said so.
Mhm.
And it's like, fuck fuck you, Igarashi. No, fuck you. Like, yeah, I defend authorship, but one, you didn't invent Castlevania. You made one of the most, like, yeah, you made what
You
Castlevania is
made one of the most
nowadays.
influential games of all time. Yeah, sure, we get it. But
We get that you made Symphony of the Night. We get it.
very
Okay.
impressive.
We noticed that you changed the franchise forever. That doesn't give you the right to be an asshole to your fellow coworkers at Konami and say that their work doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Because like to some degree, I mean, it's not like fucking like what's it called? It's not like Toriyama never oh, because we were talking about Cartoon Network schedule stuff. But anyway, it's not like Toriyama. Stealth was asking why Trom brought up the specter of Teen Titans Go, but it's not like Toriyama never made like material for the Dragon Ball spin-offs, you know. Like he had a heavy hand in like Super and stuff, and that's like some of the stuff.
Wasn't he involved on GT even if he didn't write
Not,
most of it?
I think he like kind of like what you said, where he was like, yeah, sure, why not make a show? You know, like very just like I rubber stamped this so that way you can say that it's fine. You know, like it's canon, whatever. I don't care. I want to retire. But like that's what I'm saying, right? It's like to some degree, if the author is just kind of doing it because the studio wants it, then it's like how canon can you accept that, especially if they admittedly are kind of clocked out for good parts of it. But you know, I think it in some ways it's like I'm with you where it's like no, authors and what they have to say about their series are very important, and in other ways it's just like context outside of a piece of media should also be considered when you're talking about it in the greater whole, because that's kind of what I'm saying, is that like if extenuating circumstances made this new entry into a well-respected franchise subpar, fucking that could just be like the tagline for every Sonic game ever. Then like then like I think fans are a-okay to be like don't talk about that because fucking look at this, look at what they did to my boy. You know, like it's just like things happen. So I'm not saying you can just wholly ignore what an author is saying, but also it's like sometimes things turn out bad because capitalism. So I'm not gonna hold anyone against anyone if they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna we're gonna ignore that for now. Fucking, you know, we're gonna ignore force healing because it's so many fucking issues could have been, you know.
The thing with force healing is that people complain about it like it wasn't established before. Like force healing existed before the sequel trilogy.
I mean, I can believe that, but also I feel like the way it's portrayed in the sequel trilogy.
The way they portray it on the sequel trilogy is just another Deus Ex fucking machina because they didn't know what they were writing. Well, like I can agree with you on that, but the power of force healing was not made up for that movie.
I mean, I don't think anyone would disagree that like Jedi and shit can like survive some pretty nasty stuff and be okay because like, you know, they do that. But also, conversely, if a Jedi can just like wave their hand and then a just grievous, just absolutely heinous wound in someone's like body is all good, then a lot of things that happened over the course of all Star Wars to people surrounding and including like wildly trained and skilled Jedi Masters doesn't make any sense anymore because fuck it, it's just like, dude, force heal that you're one of the best Jedi in the galaxy. Just force heal them. I know you can.
Dude, just parry.
Just parry, yeah.
Truly, this is a skill issue. Like, fucking in the latest entry from Disney and Lucas Pictures, this Jedi who has had tops 2 days of training from a guy who doesn't care anymore, just like waved their hand and it was okay. So why can't you, Jedi Master trained for literal decades, do the same thing? Skill issue.
It has become one of the many complaints of the fandom because no one hates Star Wars like a Star Wars fan.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it has become one of the main complaints of the fandom that people just survive like sabers to the torso, and Qui-Gon just fucking died.
Nice.
And I think I don't remember if anyone involved with the canon, like Filoni or anyone at all,
Has ever
involved with
addressed
the canon, ever like addressed that, or if it's just a fan theory that people have been like making up to cope with it. But they established that even though he looks humanoid, he's from a species that has like a
critical
really,
or
really
the most
a
important
critical
organ.
wherever he got stabbed. Which, mind you, where he got stabbed is not consistent because there's a couple of record like mistakes on that shot. Like sometimes he will be stabbed around the belly button, and sometimes he's stabbed on the heart, depending on the angle.
Hey, Alpha, the special organ is both places, all places.
He got stabbed 2 times.
Qui-Gon belongs to a Star Wars species affectionately called God's Joke, because from the collarbone down to the waist is an organ in front of their chest, which, if it is punctured at all, instantly kills them. Instantly, without fail, kills them.
It's a balloon animal in a meat suit.
Exactly. All their life force is gone, so... I mean, to be fair, and, like, I don't know, like, there's probably plenty of examples of, like, this person was stabbed, and, like, an hour later they were fine. But he did, like, get stabbed, and then, like, Obi-Wan had an entire, like, fight, while he was sitting there having been stabbed. So, like, I'm not gonna hold it against, veteran guy who's definitely already been around the block a few times for being like, okay, I think you got this, Obi-Wan. I'm gonna clock out here. I'm good. I'll see you later. Have a good one.
The canon also tries to adapt to the retcons and the decisions of other writers. Like the way people portray Luke as the chosen one, the one that is able to defeat everyone. This is not what Luke would have done. Luke would have never lost this fight. And it's like, dude, Luke trained with Obi-Wan for 2 days, canonically 2 days, and with Yoda for like a week. Like, what do you mean he would have not done that? And then people go around
He's built different.
He doesn't know. Like, look at I defend the prequels because the choreography is way better than anything the original movies would have ever done.
Oh, well, that's a low bar for sure, but go on.
Yeah, but again, they had the limitations they had, and they had to work with it because they were using carbon steel fucking rods.
Yeah.
They were hitting each other really hard and hurting each other. Like, if they had the choreography of the prequels, they would have, like, maimed someone. But
Hell yeah.
like, studio dangers aside, like, they had to go around the established canon to explain why Luke was able to do anything at all, which led to the legends having like months and years pass between the movies, which is like the movies happen like a week from each other. Like, you cannot like shove that much content in just a week.
What was it? I was just gonna say that, like, I was thinking of, I think, like, both can be true. That, like, like, and this is another reason why I'm like, yeah, I don't really care what happens after Return of the Jedi. I think Luke can be, like, one of the greatest Jedi Masters to ever exist in, like, the history of, like, the fiction. And also, he doesn't have to always be doing, like, a bunch of, like, backflips, like, kind of like any kind of real actual martial artist or what have you. He doesn't have to go crazy mode all the time and do a bunch of wacky shit to also be one of the best to ever do, It's like fucking...
Dude's got solid fundamentals. He doesn't have to have crazy
Hey,
stuff.
that's exactly what I mean. It's like fucking Luke can have just, like, basically... First off, one, He doesn't have to do anything. He bait Darth Vader, who is like a physical, a giant cyborg that has killed millions at this point. He just beat him with a stick long enough that he died. So that's fine enough as is. And then also, then also he's not a dickhead. At the end of Return of the Jedi, which is more than you can say for Vader or Sidious or like even Yoda to some degree, because a lot of the prequels could have been solved if anyone had taken Anakin to therapy, and no one decided to do that. So like, that kind of stuff is what can make Luke the greatest Jedi. You don't need like a spin-off where it's like, and in this one, Luke collapses a planet with his mind. So, it's like,
yeah, the way some people describe it, and I agree with them to some extent, because again, people can be faulty because they are people. So
yeah.
And they forget that Luke is, a person, not just an icon. The way people describe how Luke defeated the Sith at first was with his compassion, because he understood that like Vader was his father, not just the monster
I will not
the
kill my
rebels were making him to be. And I get that, and I respect that opinion, but at the same time trying to extrapolate that opinion to how he handled the situation with Ben.
Well, that's
on the sequels. It's like they are two completely different situations. He had one win. He won one time, and he's not used to losing. So him failing with Ben felt more personal, because
I mean, I didn't really
he took it to heart.
I didn't really fault that when I saw it in theaters, but I really won't sit here and be like, yes, that was a good. No, I cannot follow you down this road, Alphonse, because I'm not going to be like, yes, that was a good character direction for Luke. Luke, kill your nephew. Do it. No balls. No balls, Luke. Do it.
But he didn't even try to attack him. Like, we saw two sides of that story, and the one that is supposed to be the true side of that story is Luke's side, where we see him like he turns on the lightsaber because he's scared, and then he's scared of his own reaction to what he's seeing. And that's the part that he considers a failure, is his own reaction to not being able to like handle that darkness the same way he handled Vader's.
I get that.
And that's what I consider human and like interesting about Luke, where and this is something that they study on the 2015 comics, where you can see Luke complain that um, he couldn't save people, and he couldn't save Obi-Wan, and that all the people that died on the Death Star, they were bad people, but he could have tried to save them. Like, he blamed himself for Ben, and for Ben it was even worse, because he was, one, in charge of him, and two, family. So he just blamed himself to the point where he became a fucking exile, which I don't think it is the best solution, but it is human to falter. And the thing that I like about the 2015 like comics is that they explore not only the human side of Luke, but also the human side of Leia, who is more of an icon than Luke. Like, she's the princess, she is the commander, she's just the damsel in distress the whole time. And it's like, no, she is the person that has lost everything. She is the one. It's funny how, if you look at both kids of Anakin, you can see how Leia inherits all the darkness and the self-doubt and the revenge like thirst that Anakin had, while Luke tries to like lean more toward the. I think that
That's just
Leia,
politics.
if she became like, if she lean more into the force instead of like politics and her like field, which is the being a politician. If she actually tried to contact the force, she would fall into the dark side almost immediately, because she had all the darkness that Anakin had. And on those comics, she tries to kill Vader multiple times, regardless of killing like innocent hostages on the way.
Hell yeah.
She tries to kill herself by telling bombers to bomb her location, just because Vader is there. Like, she is
Number
all
one
the
makes her
darkness that
status.
Anakin had, and I find that super fucking interesting because on all the other content, she's just like the perfect icon of like trying to be a rebel and doing everything right, and it's like no, she's reckless like her father.
What was the thing? I mean, that's just 70s marketing for you. And I can respect your desire to want to portray them as more human and less just like wholly good or what have you. But I'd argue a lot of stuff you said still kind of leans into like, yeah, the direction they took for Luke in the sequels was not amazing. So, but like, I mean, you know, I already covered. I think if anything, that's why I'm just like, yeah, I don't care about anything after Return of the Jedi because like that's what I was saying is that Luke has already accomplished his journey and like kind of he doesn't need a bunch of training. He's figured it out because that's how he was able to beat Vader and Sidious. But so giving him like more stuff afterwards is just like I don't I think there's like in one of the video games you see Luke either like right before or right after Return of the Jedi helping out an Imperial guard, and like he's just kind of like a wise dude, and like same in Mandalorian where he's just like he's like a wise teacher figure, and then I think that very much fits
Yeah,
him afterwards.
that was on Battlefront 2, the campaign, and I like that version of Luke.
Yeah.
Like it's more like he doesn't use the Force, he doesn't use the lightsaber. He's just being human.
Exactly. That's what I like. I'm not saying he has to be perfect, but I'm just saying like, you know, I don't need him to go through like another story. Fucking, we had 6 movies where he went through a character arc. We're done. He's done. He's been cooked. He's done in the oven. Leave him alone. Leave that man alone. So, Stealth, what are your thoughts on Star Wars general?
Kiki, funny Jar Jar.
I like Jar Jar. I was thinking, have you seen Star Wars stuff? I literally think I asked you this not too long ago, but
The new trilogy? No.
well, no, just classic Star Wars.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You don't have to see the new trilogy. We were literally like, again, I understand where Alphonse is coming from, being like wanting to portray like Luke and other characters as more human, especially because like
No, but fuck the new trilogy. Like I still
no,
don't.
no, and I don't think
I
you.
understand some of
Yeah.
I understand some of the choices. I don't defend them. Like
No.
actively, that was a shit show. Like from start to finish.
No, and I don't think you necessarily were just like, no, those are good cinema. I'm just talking right in here, you know. But what was I thinking of? I have lost my train of thought. Oh yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's not on you. That's me. I have a bad brain. But no, we literally started talking about this because like Alphonse was pointing out, it's like yeah, they are contradicting themselves in a lot of like, in a lot of the sequel kind of content where it's just like that shouldn't be possible from what we understand from previous entries in this series. So, oopsie. So, you know.
Oops, now we have to make it possible somehow and have fucking Giancarlo Esposito be a critical character on why clones can be force sensitive.
Fuck it, we
What?
yeah, you know, all that. Fucking, we're gonna get several Glup Shido spin-offs. Just you wait and see. So,
Okay.
Glub Shitos. I'm sorry. Star Wars Outlaws. I'm playing through this and at the same time, reading the comics.
mm-hmm.
Star Wars Outlaws has the most amount of
Glup
Club Shitos ever.
That's very funny.
And I fucking love every single one of them. Like, every time I read a new name, it's like, oh my god, you are a Star Wars character. Yes.
I know you. Fucking, I mean that I can understand. That makes sense as to why that game didn't review well then, because I can imagine them being like, we're gonna include all these like these niche characters from like canon and stuff like that, and like they were doing that, and someone was like, well, what about the game? And they're like, fuck it, just Star Wars lasers, something like that. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then comes out and everyone's like, I don't know who this is. Like,
Jonochi?
what's that?
Jonochi?
Joe Nochi is in Star Wars, is what you're saying?
Oh, no, you're just doing the Brooklyn accent.
Oh.
For your marketing
I heard
guy.
Joe Anochi, and I just thought of fucking Josuke. I don't know why. So I like doing a Brooklyn accent, and clearly fucking Joey's voice actor did too, because he's the grandfather. I'm the grandfather of games. Forget about it. So, yeah. Brooklyn.
I guess he would be if Time Wizard backfired.
I mean, fucking, what's it called? Oh, I said grandfather, didn't I? It's Godfather. It's like from like a special or something like that. He's like, you want to get to Yugi, you gotta beat the Godfather again. Yeah, the Godfather of games. What's that?
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so Star Wars. I can understand Alphonse being like, that's bad, but also Star Wars fans don't know writing, because both are true. In fact, there's a lot of times where, like, even for a bad show, like, I'll look at, like, fans being like, this should happen, and all I can think is, like, I'm so glad you're not writing the show. Because, like, they just, like, sometimes people just put stuff out because, like, what, it's like fucking, to tie it to One Piece, because we were talking about the stuff that dropped today. It's like the people who are like, evil Shanks, evil Zoro, that would be cool, and it's just like, no, it wouldn't.
Really,
It would. No, it wouldn't be. It really wouldn't be.
It would just be Dragon Ball.
Don't
we
you?
already had
You
that with
won't.
Super.
You
We
will.
don't need that.
Okay, I was about to say, Super is fine. Super is. At one time a while ago, I heard someone call Super glorified fan fiction, and I was like, eh. And then I was like, no, they're right. Let me see. Let me put on my glasses real quick. Let me look this over. They are correct. This guy made Super Saiyan Blue, and I'm not just saying the name. I'm saying he made the form Super Saiyan, the color blue. And he was like, "That's good."
What if we have Tien but with hair?
How much stronger would he be? So.
They give that fucker hair.
No, not yet. But they.
Oh.
That's what I'll say about GT. I don't like anyone's hair in GT. And anytime I see a
I'm
kid,
surprised it's a multiversal constant that Tien is bald.
he will not. He is dedicated to the Buddhism. Never doubt that. Across any version of Dragon Ball, Tien dedicated Buddhist monk. So Krillin, not so much. He gets a hot wife, and he was like, "I'm out." Yeah, well, that's because he gets a fucking hot wife, and he was like, "I don't need to be Buddhist anymore." Have you seen? I saved the world by pulling an android wife. I don't need to be Buddhist for the rest of my life. So, also, I mean, fucking.
Are you talking about Awake of the Dragons? Because like me and Cahill both think that arc's incredibly based.
About Fair and Brave.
Oh,
absolutely, yes. I mean, I was literally talking about that on this is the problem I'm having. I'm really passionate. Everyone knows I love Alex. I already wrote like a short story for him. He's a character I've had for a while, and I want to do stuff with. I started doing a card game thing because Yu-Gi-Oh's much better than I thought it was, and I like the framing device of a fucking card game to resolve conflict. But I'm like, maybe later. But regardless, yeah, I was literally talking on stream at one point. It's like, if they remade Duel Monsters, I'd be fucking insulted if they didn't include Waking the Dragons in it. Because that, first off, I think it's good to have a little buffer in between Battle City and the final arc in Egypt and stuff like that. And also, it's got good animation. It has some actually good story moments, even if the "it should have been me" is a meme at this point. But, you know, that happens to everything, so.
Is that his chin?
This? No, this is cape. This is handkerchief.
Okay, I was gonna say he's going full on Peter Griffin right now.
You just think that, like, I see what you mean now, but you just think that Willie is just like, he's just like, there's a One Piece character that looks like this, so he's just like, yeah.
Oh, that Navy guy?
Yeah, no explanation for that guy, but he's just like, yeah. I'm an 11-year-old boy. I'm an 11-year-old boy, and I look like this. Yeah.
Why is this happening?
I don't know, because Alphonse thought his handkerchief was his fucking chin, so. Yeah, kind of a weird perspective, but listen, even if I can't put out a million, like, pieces of writing every week, never say I don't try with my comic. I do. I wanted to. I wanted
I
to.
mean, Cahill, you know you are a writer because you want to write and you end up not doing it. That's what writers do.
Correct! There you go. I mean, fucking, Fonz. I don't think he said. Don't think you said a truer thing than that. Literally the entire fucking streams, and you've said, you have said some factual, intelligent stuff. Do not get it twisted, but
I have also said that I'm the sleep messiah, so don't
yeah, that's
take
right.
it
That's
with a
right.
grain of salt.
You said some smart stuff. You said some dumb stuff. That's what streaming is. So it's fine. Don't don't take don't don't take Alphon's sleep advice, and don't take any redeeming qualities he says about the Star Wars sequels as confirmation that those are good. You are gaslighting yourself. I did it for a while too. It happens to all of us. It was a fine filler arc. There's literally overly sarcastic productions. They have a whole series about different writing tropes, and they did one on filler's arc recently. And fucking the thumbnail for the filler arc was Waking the Dragons. And like,
Oh yeah, that's what made me actually start watching them.
yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, she wasn't glazing Yu-Gi-Oh or anything, but she was like, listen, Waking the Dragons is peak. And I'm like, you know what? That's all I needed. You can say a lot of mean stuff from here on out about Yu-Gi-Oh. At least you know what you're talking about in terms of this specific filler arc. So, and she even points out, it's just like, and it's great that we get to see Yami now robbed of Yugi, who was kind of like his rock in better half throughout the entire series. That's really good. And I'm like, you get it. So you get a pass. You understand it. So approval. So yeah, that's what not to. I might be ending soon, so not to like get into a whole Yu-Gi-Oh thing, but I feel like, and I think I said this before, but I feel like that's one reason I was like, I would want any remake of Duel Monsters not just to be wholly manga accurate, because I think that would be ignoring the evolution the series went through even while Takahashi was alive and like directly writing it. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh from when it started to when it finished was pretty different, and like things changed, but it still turned out pretty good. And remaking it and being like, we're going to erase all of that now, would be like, that's stupid. So yeah, and if there was a remake of Yu-Gi-Oh, get Waking the Dragons in there. We will riot. I will get Stealth on a plane. He won't like that part, but once we get to fucking Japan, we will be protesting any exclusion of Waking the Dragons.
Riot regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you do want it in your favor.
Exactly. One will be a celebration and be like, "Fuck yeah, thank you," and the other is just like, "We are coming to Konami." So that's a joke.
I always forget that Yu-Gi-Oh is Konami.
Yes, technically, Konami does the TCG, so which is different from the original anime and the OCG. They probably do the OCG too because it's Japanese, because that's Japan only. But the fucking it's important to note that it is different from the anime. If I hear one more motherfucker mention Yugi cheating, I will be upset with you. So don't do it. I will riot. I'm really easy to make riots and discovering. So. Stealth, I have a question for tomorrow's stream.
Oh?
What's your favorite Monster Hunter?
Okay, so mine is always gonna be like World and Iceborne, I think, just because of like the insane amount of fun memories I have with friends playing with it, and also just like the expansion of Iceborne will just like truly fucking wowed me.
That's fair.
Like, yeah.
What was I thinking of? I'm kind of surprised just because, like I was saying to Alphonse, there's stuff in World where like having now officially played some older Monster Hunters, I'm like, wow, it's wild they did this, and I'm not sure I like it. I am coming to really enjoy the game, but still, I'm just like, it's wild. It's wild. I was like, surely Handler can't be that bad. It's insane they just made a tutorial a character. Yeah, that's really bad. Like, still was even in call for the fucking moment when they showed me the Elder's Recess, And I said this to him, and Stealth is a very vocal critic about Wild, which he should be because it's a series he cares about and he wants it to be as good as possible. Fucking the walking section to the Elder's Recess might be worse than every sacred walkthrough in Wilds. And someone...
And I disagree, just because of how long they are. The sacred walks are longer.
Maybe I was just very good at entertaining myself while they were happening. The way I was pushing that fucking joystick as hard as it would go, and my character just refused to move faster than a snail's pace as the Admiral just kind of talks to us for a while, and the handler asked very just silly questions. And I was just like, please, I'm begging you, go forward at a normal speed. No. Like, just, like, compared to that, riding on the bird and staring at Gemma and collecting resources was heaven.
Oh, okay, I see what it is now. I see what it's for.
That's understandable. No, I'm making a joke. Unironically, I think part of why it was better for me, it was just because, like, you had the claw in those, and they were like fully interactable, so like they're talking to you, but I'm just like, ooh, bitterbug, ooh, honey, ooh, resource. Like, you know, I'm just like snatch as we're like passing by. I made it a little mini game for myself, and I can understand if that's not what everyone got.
It's better than just having a walking sequence where you.
This is what I'm saying.
Like, get out feeling like this could have been a cutscene.
Let me use my weapon. Let me use my weapon.
No, that I get, and I mean,
the whole time.
not to pit my friends against each other. Alphonse was saying, it's just like, yeah, Monster Hunter fans don't want story, and I'm like, I get where you're coming from, and to some degree, I'm kind of with you in that, like, I do like a good narrative in a game, and Monster Hunter having more of like a straight up narrative might be cool, but I'm also just like, I do also just like loading in and doing a quest and not having like a whole thing about it. So just being able to go after monsters and inhabit the world without having a cutscene explain it to me. So I can be in between the two and be like, yes, but we have to find a middle ground. We can't. I think it would be a mistake.
The middle ground is Monster Hunter Academia, where you just create your own character and you go on training hunts.
No, Lord in heaven, you're
the story.
Alphonse. You will I will court martial you. What you are describing is Pokemon Generation 8 Sword and Shield, and nothing has.
Sword and Shield. I don't like Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Yes.
No,
exactly.
You're thinking of Gen 9. That's the school.
Oh. No. Because I haven't played Gen 9. But specifically what I'm talking about, and I've talked about this on stream before, is Pokemon, which is meant to be like an adventure where kids are able to explore a fictional world, except in Sword and Shield, where it's framed like a fucking field trip, and there's literally people and like roadblocks directing you. There's literally a moment in the story where Leon's like, something's interesting is happening, I'm going to go do that, you keep doing the field trip.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I wanted... I know, that made me so angry. So hearing fucking, like... To be clear, a hunter school might actually be a really good idea for, you know, a Monster Hunter game. I'm not against that. That being said, fucking specifically like only training missions, I would die. I'd throw myself into a river.
You eventually would go on real missions, is what I'm saying. But having a new hunter either be extremely competent right out of the bat, or having a new hunter, like the way they handle the hunter in Wilds, you know, a random fucking person on the ship just straight up like jumping off the ship and killing monsters like that, and then giving...
No, you're meant to be an experienced hunter, and Alphonse, I don't mean to, especially because...
Yeah, but I'm not. That's the thing. Like the dissonance comes from, oh, you are giving me the control of someone that is actually good at what they do, and I am supposed to be hunting herbivores that don't know how to defend themselves.
I mean, I get that, Alphonse, but I'm going to be honest, at that point, I think we've reached the point where I can be like, I don't think Monster Hunter is for you, because we were discussing that before, and that's okay.
Monster Hunter for you?
But fucking, like, it's, if the option is especially in a game like Monster Hunter, where the end goal is going to be killing an Elder Dragon, almost certainly, if the option is between babying the player through a large section of the game, or treating them like they are a hunter who at least has hunted once before, that second option is always 100% the time going to be better. And if you're just like, I don't like it, then that's okay. But I I guarantee you, if they went with the whole just like, nope, you're new, we have to teach you everything from the ground up, which is, again, that's okay because you're new to the series, but they already tried that with Handler, and people wanted to kill Handler for the
but
longest time.
I don't need them to go back to, like fucking grinding for months and waddling through
There's a
shit
difference between
for months like Monster Hunter 1. Like, I don't need them to go back to that.
No.
But one, I need an active tutorial area, not just
That's
a
fine.
fighting game tutorial.
Now,
Because the training area on Wilds is just a training area for a fighting game. They just like drop you there
yeah,
and give you a list of combos that you can do. And it's like, no, I need a character to teach me this. You can make that optional.
yes.
You can make that optional and give me the option to, have a way to learn the weapons.
Well, now you've described
Like-
two different things, and I can get behind being like, I would like it if there was an optional area that taught you different. That, like, I mean, and they do have like a whole thing. That, honestly, I don't like it because in a lot of Monster Hunter games, there's like literally a menu and it's like tutorials, and like that's fine, but it's always like there's like notifications on it, and I'm like, I don't need to go through all the tutorials being like, yes, I know this, yes, I know this, yes, I know this. Honestly, Alphonse, you describing an optional kind of like school area that someone can opt into to learn certain things about the game.
The
that'd be
optional school, school area is the part that I need to be optional. The part that I don't need to be optional, and that it would be story related if we were still like trying to tell you the story, but also trying to balance it with like a more arcadey feel. I need the hunter ranks to matter in the sense that I need you to give me hunting missions for something that will not try to hunt me back, and then give me a predator, but a small one. I know that everyone is tired of hunting Velociprey. I know. I killed those motherfuckers on Metal Gear Peace Walker more times than I can count. I'm sick of them too. I killed them a lot on Freedom Unite. I know that hunting Velociprey at some point gets boring, but there's new people joining the franchise. Give them something easy to do at the beginning that you will blast through it, and give them a training monster that they can go and practice their weapons with.
I would argue that's Wild Story anyway.
Yeah, well,
Is it?
I mean, to Alphonse's point, I will say the fact that, and I said this even about Generations, that like you'll do like the end of like low rank or what have you, which is like Zoshia or Valstrax or whatever, or Glaveness in low rank is Glaveness and Generations. But fucking, you'll end that, and then they'll be like, okay, high rank, go fight a conga lala, go fight the ship monkey, or a small lizard. And I'm just like, this is weirdly paced.
Oh, the fucking conga lala, I forgot about that.
I'm gonna be honest, Alphonse. The more you talk, the more I think Monster Hunter is just not for you, and that's okay again. But also,
I like the concept of Monster Hunter. It's just that the I don't know. I feel that with Monster Hunter, it is, maybe it's because I played Freedom Unite alone. I feel that the game wanted you to do like low level shit until you understood the basics, and in this one it's like, oh no, your character is an experienced hunter and we're going to drop you right into it, and you're gonna be fighting a giant fucking frog in the first 10 minutes of the game, and it's like, give me something smaller. Give me herbivores.
I'm not gonna lie, Chotacabra is not. Alphonse, because I was gonna say, because you do make certain good points about how they could adjust Monster Hunter game design without revamping anything. Because like I said, there's certain niche things it does that I think they should keep. But I'm not gonna lie, Chotacabra is just a frog. You can beat a frog, Alphonse. I believe it. Like, it's not.
I know. I have beat a frog. Like, I left it fighting the fucking Crimson Spider thingy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I myself have experience with Monster Hunter, like from years ago. But I know how the game works. I still find it like surprisingly like
It's a hard game.
not friendly for new players.
No, it's not. I mean, this is why I keep saying it, because Stealth has said this. You do have to kind of be noisy when they're making changes like this to Monster Hunter to make sure they don't go in a direction where it's like, I would not like the series to be like this, but like, that's why I keep being like, yeah, it might not be for you, because like, yeah, it's not friendly. You're a hunter, and you're fighting giant things in the environment, and like, yeah, they could make certain tutorial stuff more easily like readable and accessible, but at the end of the day, it's not meant to be like, okay, this is going to be easy. No, you have to be smart. You have to even for the basic missions, you have to manage resources. You have to know at least some things and experiment a bit to know what you want, and you have to take your time with it. It is not something where it's just like, I'm going to...
What's the rush?
Exactly. Like, and to be fair, again, Alphonse, that's okay. I'm not just saying that to you. I'm saying that for people out there where it's like, if you want a shorter game that you can like, cut, maybe have a bit of challenge to, but otherwise like, get through succinctly, that's fine. It is not Monster Hunter. Those games are designed to be 200 hours if you really get into them. So.
No, I get it. Like, I get that part, and I get the part where, you want to defend your franchise, not from the new players, but from the company itself, where
Yeah.
they will try to like
Change stuff you don't want
baby
changed.
proof. No, they will baby proof the fuck out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I have seen it happen on other games. Fuck, I have Cahill.
Yeah.
I had that happen. I have seen the death of a franchise up close with Ace Combat Assault Horizon. They took a game about flying fighter jets, and they put it on rails. They put dogfighting on rails. The fun part of the game
I fell
was
asleep.
cut out of the game. Like,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but at the same time, I think there could be a better way to balance it out in a sense that is like something optional that experienced players can just like blast through it
Oh,
in
for
the
sure.
first half an hour or 1 hour, and like more inexperienced players who can like opt for lower level missions until they feel like prepared to start handling the harder ones.
That's fair.
Completionist brain intensifies.
Anyway, I'm gonna raid Dollop and go get ready for work, which I'm not looking forward to. But you know how it is. I do appreciate friends hanging out, and I mean, I don't really know if friends will be around tomorrow because I'm just going to solo some Monster Hunter. So I hope to see everyone there then. I hope y'all have a good one. Bye.